First 3 games in this series. By the way, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow. Get a free regular roast beef sandwich. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at foxsports.com in the Major League Baseball section. Well, it's a much anticipated day for Alex Avila. The rookie catcher up from Double-A Erie will get his first big league start. Maybe feeling some nerves right now. Doesn't look like it. Saw him before the game in the clubhouse. He seemed cool as a cucumber, and he is ready to go to work as he takes the field. Along with the rest of the Detroit Tigers, Rick Porcello will charge out to the mound as well, as the Tigers will take on an Orioles lineup that looks like this. The O's lineup features Brian Roberts at second. Nolan Reimold is in left field. Nick Markakis in right, followed by Aubrey Huff at first. Ty Wigginton will play third today. Luke Scott is the DH. Wieters, Pie, and Andino are your bottom 3. The Orioles starting lineup presented by the Romani Eye Institute. Meanwhile, here's the scouting report brought to you by Dodge on Rick Porcello.
No issues with the youngster's fastball. He's not getting tired. A lot of people maybe felt like he was starting to tire a little bit, but he was throwing 95 the last time he went out there with good firm fastball. It's official. They have finally scrapped the curveball. They feel like Rick's arm slot is better suited for him to throw a slider from that arm slot versus the curveball there. For no more curveballs, he's got tremendous mound presence. When he does get in trouble, he's able to get that ground ball to get a double play to get himself out of all jams he's been in. Let's take a look at the Tigers defense. You got Thomas, Granderson, Ordonez in the outfield. You've got Inge, Santiago, Polanco, Cabrera rounding out the infield. We've talked about Alex Avila making his major league debut here this afternoon, catching Rick Porcello, and always Tigers defense presented by your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores.
Well, Rick Porcello with that outstanding start at Cleveland in his last time out gave up just 1 run in 8 innings, and that lowered his ERA to 4.36.
Jim said there was no doubt in his mind Porcello could have finished that game after throwing 91 pitches, getting through 8 innings. But when you have a closer that was in your bullpen that has been perfect all year, you owe it to him to give that opportunity to your closer.
So the rookie out of Seton Hall Prep, the #1 pick of the Tigers, ready to go to work. And it's a gorgeous day here this afternoon as we wind up this series. Brian Roberts will lead things off. He'll be followed by Nolan Reimold and then Nick Markakis.
First 3 games of this series, Roberts has been very aggressive, swinging at first pitches.
Porcello's first pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Roberts had his 8-game hitting streak come to an end last night. He is 3 for 12 in the series. He has a home run. That is popped up in the air, shallow left center. Granderson being called off by Thomas. Grandy peels away, 1 gone.
Talking to Rick Knapp before the game today, and I was asking him where the velocity came from as far as Porcello is concerned his last start. He said Rick just made a conscious effort that he was going to attack the Cleveland Indians with fastballs as hard as he can throw them. And that's exactly what he did. 95, 96, nothing but strikes. Overpowered some of those Cleveland Indians hitters.
Here is Nolan Reimold, the #2 hitter. I went back before the game today and read one of the scouting reports on Porcello. This was during the draft last year, and what they had to say about this young man before he even threw 1 pitch in professional baseball. And most of the scouting reports said fastball 94, 95, 96, but we just had not seen it really until that last start.
Nope, not consistently. He's had the good 2-seam fastball in that range you talked about with great movement as we watched right there, but we had not watched the 95. It's good to see, though.
Reimold 1 for 10 in the series, couple of walks. The 1-2 pitch. It'll pop up in a shallow center. Polanco going back, 2 gone. How much of that time off before the All-Star break do you think helped Porcello?
I think it helped him a lot, to be perfectly honest with you, because anytime you're young and you know that your innings are going to be limited, you owe it to yourself if you're Leland to protect Porcello. Here's that slider that he's throwing these days, and when you locate it there against a good hitter, and Reimold's a good young hitter, you can't do a lot of damage with that pitch. Well located slider by Porcello.
So with 2 outs, here is Nick Markakis batting an even 300. He's had himself a nice series with 3 RBIs. And he lines one toward left, foul.
Rick Knapp said expect a lot of what we saw Porcello do in his last start today. And that fastball anywhere from 94 to 96. Great movement with his two-seam fastball when he backs off of it a little bit at 89 to 91. That's the ball that he gets tons of ground balls with.
And we gave you that note on the open today. 18 double play balls induced this year, which leads the American League for Porcello.
Even when Porcello's gone out sometimes this year and been hit around a little bit, you would never know it because by his mound presence.
No, and that's the one thing that I think everybody talked about, even back to the Tigers caravan 2 years ago, before he was even in the Tigers system as a professional. He just carried himself very well, just fresh out of high school. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Tigers need this game today. Anytime you come home to your own ballpark, you've got to win series. Whether they be taking 2 of 3 or 3 of 4, you've got to protect home court advantage.
Well, especially since you have the Twins coming into town over the weekend, and not only that, but then you go to Boston.
It's always tough to play in Boston. Very hostile environment. But the Tigers will go in there with some real good pitchers, though.
On the ground to the first baseman, Cabrera. And it's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. Nicely done to start the ball game. Rick Porcello as we head to the bottom of the first. Tigers starting lineup brought to you by Big Boy, and it features Curtis Granderson in center field, Polanco at second, Clee Thomas hitting third today. Cabrera is cleaning up. Carlos Guillen is your DH, followed by Maglio Ordonez in right field. Your bottom 3 is Inge, Alex Avila making his big league debut, and Ramon Santiago. Here we go as Granderson leads off the bottom of the first, and a strike from the right-handed David Hernandez out of Sacramento, California. 1 ball, 1 strike on Curtis, batting .254. 22 home runs this year, just 1 hit in this series so far, 1 for 9. Hernandez, another one of those youngsters that the Orioles are rolling out these days, 24 years old. Popped Granderson up, shallow left field. Reimold coming in. 1 gone. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on David Hernandez. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, they're very high on him. As a matter of fact, they think he'll be a front of the rotation guy in the future for them. Successful debut against the Tigers back on May 28th. He beat them in his first major league start. He's got an outstanding slider, rated the best slider in their organization by Baseball America. And as Mario mentioned, the 3rd rookie Tigers have seen in this series.
Hard ground ball to Andino at short, and Polanco is gone 2 away.
Let's take a look at the defense behind the youngster Hernandez, sponsored by Honda Bloomfield. You've got Reimold in left, PA. in center field, getting his first start of the series. Adam Jones with the afternoon off. Markakis in right. Wigginton, Andino, Roberts, Huff, the infield. Wieters, the phenom, back behind the plate. And David Hernandez, the pitcher.
Here's Clete Thomas with 2 outs. Batting .269. Thomas with 7 home runs. Number 7, of course, was the game winner in the opening game of the series. He has scored 3 times here against the Orioles. Cuts and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's what Hernandez will feature. I mean, a fastball anywhere from 93, 95. A real good slider. And like most young pitchers, still trying to get a feel for a changeup.
Good fastball on the outer edge, right on the black, 1-2.
They say that he's not afraid. He gets the ball and comes right after you.
Well, we saw Hernandez pitch around some early control troubles in his big league debut this year against the Tigers, his first start.
Yes, Detroit squandered several opportunities that day to score.
Full count now, 3-2 on Clete Thomas. And he walked him. Ball 4. Tigers have the game's first base runner. First walk for David Hernandez.
It's always good to see Cabrera come to the dish in the first inning. And that means you've got somebody on, and he's got a chance of driving them in.
Cabrera 4 for 11 in this series against Baltimore. Still 3rd in the American League in hitting. Check it, 4th. He came in 4th in the series and is still there. Ichiro, Mauer, and Bartlett are your top 3. 0-1 on Cabrera.
Ichiro's got 52 multiple hit games already.
That's shocking.
Well, 52.
I guess it's not shocking, but it's kind of amazing.
Most guys come to the yard and try to get 1 a day. He's getting 2 a day.
The 0-2. This is down the first base line, but back out of play. 0-2, the count stays on Cabrera. Tigers have won 2 of the first 3. They continue to play good baseball here at home. The Detroit record at home, 33-17. They have more home wins than anybody in the Central Division. Runner bluffing. Wieters blocking the baseball, 1-2. This is within the division here. The Tigers have 23 wins against the Central, along with Chicago. The best record percentage wise is Minnesota. And the Tigers, of course, have Minnesota coming in next. Twins have kind of fallen on some hard times. They're a game under 500 overall now, 3.5 back. Here's the 1-2. High pop up, first base side. Looks like Huff has room. And the Tigers are done in the first. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. We go to the second. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. After one here at the ballpark, the Tigers and the Orioles no score. Rick Porcello back to the hill, and he is facing Aubrey Huff. Then Ty Wigginton and Luke Scott. On a sun-splashed afternoon here at the ballpark. Game time temp 77 degrees.
The key to pitching to this Baltimore Orioles team is you must get ahead of some of these hitters that really like to attack the fastball, and most of them do. Huff's a real good fastball hitter. Is Scott Markakis. And so you must get ahead of these guys. Porcello will also need to throw a few changeups in counts like these today, 2-1.
Right back to the mound. Porcello knocks it down. 4 up, 4 down against the Tigers right-hander.
We saw the other day just really a nice pitching performance by that kid, Brian Mattis, the youngster, the left-hander who threw a lot of changeups and fastball counts. If you're a young pitcher and you can do that successfully up here at this level, with the kind of stuff that guys like Porcello have, you're going to win some games in the big leagues. And Porcello's already won his fair share.
Wigginton looks at a strike.
But I was impressed with that Mattis kid the other day.
But he was good, and I thought Chris Tillman was pretty good too. The kid with the big breaking ball that we saw earlier in the series.
Once he tightens that breaking ball up a little bit and throws it in the strike zone, because you can't hit it, and his game will go to a whole nother level as well. His breaking ball may be a little bit too big right now.
So based on what we've seen so far in this series, I think the Orioles might be a little bit excited about their pitching future.
They should be. It's going to be tough for them to compete in their division, obviously, against Boston and also the Yankees, but they're going to get better.
Wigginton didn't look good there. First strikeout of the ballgame for Porcello, 2 gone.
That's why they believe that his arm slot, I'm talking about Porcello, where he throws from, is better suited for the slider versus the curveball. When you throw the slider, you can throw it out of the same arm slot. Basically, your hand is in the same motion. When you're throwing that curveball, somehow you got to try to get on top to get the break, and it just really hadn't been a good pitch for Rick this year. That slider is, though.
Here's Luke Scott. So prior to this year, you've got a starting pitcher here today for the Tigers that didn't play above A ball, and you've got a starting catcher who was at Double-A this year in Alex Avila,
and right in the middle of a pennant race.
The 0-1.
Well, coming into this year, Alex was number 4 on the depth chart as far as catchers were concerned. Matt Trainer was here. Then Sardina got a chance. And Ryan got an opportunity. And now it's Alex that gets his chance.
Well, the Tigers just have not been able to get any offense out of the backup catcher spot, so Avila will give them a chance to do that. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Luke Scott. Two and 2. Scott has a couple of RBIs in the series, 1 for 6, and based on what he's done against the Tigers in his career, that's really quieting him down in terms of what they've done against him here in this series. Hasn't done a whole lot. Now it runs full at 3 and 2.
I think he drove those runs in his very first at bat on Monday against Verlander.
Yeah, with a 2-base hit. Not much since. Matt Wieters waiting on deck. Speaking of catching prospects,
we'll see how good Porcello feels on this next pitch.
Lost him, ball 4. It's a 2-out walk. Scott is aboard. And today's game is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It is sponsored by Comcast. Each team now with a walk. Here's Matt Wieters. The minor league player of the year in 2008. Wieters came into this year as the #1 overall rated prospect.
He's got a bright future. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But still a lot to learn, like any rookie that has not played a lot in the minor leagues.
High fly ball deep into right center. A lot of room out there, though. Granderson is over. And the side retired. No runs, a walk, 1 man left, 1.5 in the books.
Embrace this. You need to hold it. You need to put your arms around, wrap your arms around, and enjoy it. I mean,
bottom 2 in a scoreless ball game. Jim Leland knows he is smack dab in the middle of a pennant race, and he expected this to be a tight race, no doubt about it.
I think we expected it to be that way all along. I expected all winter it was going to be like that, and obviously I thought Cleveland would be in it more than they are, but it's great. I mean, it's what it's all about, and it's like I told the players, you need to embrace this. You need to hold it. You need to put your arms around, wrap your arms around, and enjoy it. I mean, so many people that have been in this game that have been great players, including some Hall of Famers, have never been in a pennant race. I mean, I don't just want to say run from it, but, embrace it, and enjoy the moment. I mean, this is what it's all about.
That's great advice. Embrace it. Sometimes you kind of lose sight of that on the day-to-day basis with all the ups and downs of a pennant race.
I also encourage the fans to embrace it. Obviously, Jim is talking to his team about how fortunate they are right now to be where they are in August, first place club. But also the fans that follow the Tigers need to embrace it a little bit more, enjoy it, because it doesn't happen every year.
Carlos Guillen, the batter. He is leading things off in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Elsewhere, meanwhile, Cleveland and Minnesota. The other game one of the 2 other games we're keeping our eyes on. That's 1-1 in the 5th.
Where's Cliff Lee at when you need him?
Over in the National League, unfortunately. Yeah. Sky to the air, foul ground, and back to the customers. 1-2.
I mean, realistically, do you think this Baltimore team will be able to compete in their division with Boston and the Yankees, even with these young studs that are coming up, and Wieters and Jones in center field and Roberts? Or do you think they're going to have to increase their payroll drastically really to have a chance in that division?
Well, I really like this team offensively. I think they have some nice pieces, some really, really good players. A few of them they've tied up now for the next couple of years. Guys like Roberts and Markakis. I think they're great players, but when you have so many young pitchers, I mean, it's not like they have 2 or 3 veterans in the rotation where they can bring these guys along slowly, and you go up against the likes of the Yankees and the Red Sox and Tampa, what they've become, and even Toronto, which is always putting out a solid team. I think it's going to be tough. I think you hit the key point there. Payroll might have to be expanded. That's popped up and caught by the right fielder Markakis.
Well, speaking of the Red Sox and the Yankees, they renew their rivalry this weekend in the Bronx. It's a long-time rivalry, and Boston has owned the Yankees this year. Coverage on Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 4 p.m. on your local Fox station. And if you tune in, get ready for a 4-hour tilt.
At least. Here's Ordonez. Yankees on top of Boston by 2.5. Tampa, they had 60 wins and they're 5.5 out.
It's going to be tough for any other team in the American League to capture the wild card. The wild card appears that it's going to come out of the East or the West. Central teams are lagging in victories right now.
I think back to the Tiger team of 06 and even 07 and what Kenny Rogers brought to this team and the young pitchers on this staff, the veteran that was really able to share a lot of his knowledge with the good young pitchers the Tigers had and have. And the Orioles, they really don't have a guy like Kenny Rogers with all these young pitchers here that even a veteran that's been around many years to be able to help them along through the ups and downs.
No, they have Guthrie. Guthrie is the elder statesman in their rotation. And he pitched well last night. His stuff was tremendous. It took a tremendous pitching performance by Edwin Jackson to prevent Guthrie from getting a win.
A base hit to left field for Maglio, who's quietly having himself quite a series. 5 for 9. So Ordonez now with a 5-game hitting streak starting to heat up a little bit.
I'll show you a little bit later on in this ball game what Maglio has done with his stance, but by him being a little bit more open with that front foot allows him to clear those hips out of the way, and his bat speed has increased by what he has done from the waist down. He's got some pretty good leverage now. You've got to have good leverage to get good bat speed.
Here's Brandon Inge. Swung on and belted. Deep in the air, left field. That ball is gone. Brandon has his first home run of the second half.
Been a long time since we've seen that. What a nice swing by Brandon. Brandon also noticed that Hernandez was throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs.
July the 12th against Cleveland, his last homer.
Yeah, look at Brandon clear his hips out of the way as well. We talked about Maglio clearing his hips out of the way. That front foot gets up, it gets down, now it's firm, and that's when you could do the damage from your backside. And the rotation on that back foot, hip rotation, good bat speed.
He had 21 home runs in the first half of the year, was struggling, had not hit one in the second half, and that one has to feel good for Brandon Inge, number 22 and his 60th and 61st RBI.
Brandon Inge and Dean Palmer, the only Tigers third baseman in their history to have 20+ home runs at the All-Star break.
Well, that one traveled 385 feet. And a no doubt about it home run for Brandon. 2-0 Detroit. First big league at bat for Alex Avila. And it comes against David Hernandez here. There's Al, his dad, the vice president and assistant general manager.
There's Mom. Can she watch? She can't watch.
Oh, boy.
She might be dropping a couple tears right now.
There's a ball down low.
You know, Dad is Dad, and obviously he allows Alex to go to the ballpark with him and get into big league stadiums, but it's the moms that are the real heroes in getting these kids around all their different functions. Driving them to Little League practice, scout ball, and you name it. Moms play a huge role.
I would argue maybe the biggest role.
I would not disagree with you.
It is so vital what they do, and I know dads are proud, but Mom's looking on too here today. And a bouncing ball foul.
That's why when they take shots of all the players, it's usually, hi, Mom. They don't say nothing about Dad. It's usually, hey, Mom.
What's Al thinking about right now?
He just wants his son to get a hit. He's proud no matter what, though.
He just cannot look. And that misses high. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's what it's all about, though. That's what it's all about. He's earned this call-up, too. He was having a good year in Double-A.
12 home runs, 55 RBIs at Erie. And he takes strike 3 in the outside corner. He's punched out of there by Scott Berry, and Alex Avila gets that first big league at bat out of the way, although not the way he wanted it to end. The first strikeout for Hernandez. And the reaction from Mom. Oh well. Two outs. Here's Santiago. .252 average for Ramon. Tigers continue to rotate their shortstops, Santiago and Everett. And even on days in which Polanco gets an afternoon off, you'll see both of them in the game. Pulled foul, first base side. 2-1 on Ramon, 1 for 4 in the series. 2-run homer by Brandon Inge here in the second has given the Tigers the lead. David Hernandez was drafted 3 times in his career. He finally signed with the Orioles out of a junior college in California back in 2005. That's drilled to right center field. This one is trouble. It's going to get down and go to the wall. This one might be a triple. Santiago motors around second base. He's on his way to third. He's in with a stand-up triple. Triples alley out there in right center field produces another one.
If you're Santiago, you're standing in the batter's box. It's a 3-1 count. You know Hernandez is going to give you a fastball. Therefore, you're cheating a little bit, and that's how you can climb the ladder and get on top of a fastball 93 miles an hour and get yourself a triple.
Now Granderson will try and get him in. Tigers have their third hit, all of them in this inning. Single homer triple. Two 2-0 on Curtis. He flied out back in the first inning, 0 for 1. And 1 for 10 in the series. Line fair inside the bag at first. This will get another run in. Granderson off to the races. He is on his way to second and will pull in with a double. And the Tigers hit for the cycle in this inning. Single for Maglio, homer for Inge, triple for Santiago, and now Granderson's double.
And for the most part this year, as we're going to look at this replay, and it's in Expo, slow motion, courtesy of Lincoln Mercury. Granderson gets the majority of his hits down in right field corner or to right field. He's become much more of a pull hitter this year. Now here you have it. 61 in that direction, just 13 the opposite way. And that's a major reason why Granderson's batting average is not up close to that 300 area that we've become accustomed to seeing it.
Polanco, the batter, he grounded out back in the first.
If you're going to hit 300, you got to utilize the entire field, foul line to foul line.
Fouled back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
A huge at bat by Polanco in last night's game. Runners on second and third against Clay Meredith with 2 outs. Gave the Tigers a couple of insurance runs, which they needed because Jackson gave up 2 in the top half of the ninth. Jim said that he made a mistake in that game last night. He said that initially it was the right call to send Jackson out there in the ninth to pitch the complete game, but after he sat so much in the bottom half of the 8th, he probably shouldn't have allowed him to go out in the ninth.
The 1-2. The thing is with Jackson, though, I mean, he's a guy that has earned the reputation of being a horse, a guy that could finish games off, a guy that looked like he had plenty in the tank, and so I guess you could understand the thought process, at least, of sending him back out.
Oh, it was the right call. But as he said, after he sat that long, it probably shouldn't have sent him back out.
Grounded toward third and hit the bag. Granderson might score. They're going to send him home. The throw not in time. To second base goes Polanco.
Andino, their shortstop, was an innocent bystander watching that ball hit the bag and didn't break toward third until the ball hit the bag. If he's breaking a little bit sooner, they have a play on Granderson. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good if you're Polanco. I do not know if Wigginton throws him out anyway, but once this ball kicks off the bag and trickles towards second base, it took Andino quite a while before he got over there. And Granderson was running all the way. He needed no help from Gene Lamont.
4-0 game, a single and an RBI for Polanco. He takes second on the throw home. So the Tigers now have 4 runs on 5 hits in this inning. Unlike the first time they saw Hernandez, they have taken advantage of their scoring chances here. They've actually created them. They haven't needed any base on balls. Clete Thomas walked back in the first inning, did not score. So the pitch is now starting to pile up. 38 here in the second. There's some activity in the Baltimore bullpen. Brian Bass, the right-hander.
This is probably the biggest adjustment for young pitchers when the game speeds up on them. They overthrow. And they don't back off. They don't start throwing changeups. They don't throw their breaking balls, which is what you must do.
Second walk.
Verlander admitted that the other day. And when he gave up 5 runs in the first inning, he said in the past, I would have been trying to throw harder, but I'm learning to when the game speeds up and I'm in trouble, take a little bit off and get some guys off balance.
I guess your body is telling you to do something else. The adrenaline gets going, and if you have the ability to throw it 100, you want to throw it 100.
All these guys are so talented. They've been able to dominate from Little League all the way up through college. But sometimes it doesn't work that way in the big leagues. You got to be able to take a deep breath and back off a little bit.
Tigers sending 9 men to the plate. Here is Cabrera as they hit around here in the second.
And as many pitches as he has thrown here in the second, that's when you become very vulnerable to a guy that's as dangerous as Cabrera in the batter's box, especially falling behind him. That was a good pitch.
Second inning has been a pretty good inning for the Tigers this year. They have beaten up on their opponents 76-40. They've outscored them. And of course, it all started with the Inge home run, the 2-run shot. Tigers have since added a couple more. Hernandez, 24 years old, out of Sacramento. He's a big strikeout pitcher in the minor leagues. Struck out 60 in about 43 innings at Norfolk before he was called up. It's popped up foul back out of play. 2-2 on Miguel Cabrera.
With his arm strength, you can see why they're high on him and why they like him, and also why they believe he'll be a front of the rotation guy.
He was supposed to make a start in AAA against Toledo, the Tigers AAA affiliate, but then he got called up to the big leagues and ended up starting against the Tigers big league club and beat him. He's back in May. Driven in the air deep into center field. PA is going to get there though for the out. So they send 9 to the plate. It's a big inning nonetheless. And it all started with a home run by Brandon Inge. It is. Who has been the best minor league call-up this season for the Tigers? Text A or B to 37338 or FSDET. Is it A, Ryan Rayburn, or B, Cleet Thomas? There's your text poll question. And here come the Orioles now in the third with a 4-0 score. Tigers on top. They had a big inning, and now Rick Porcello pitching with the lead. Felix Pié leads it off. Then Robert Andino to follow. And then the top of the order, Brian Roberts. 4 runs on 5 Tigers hits. Felix Pié is a former Chicago Cub. Bouncing ball to short. Santiago throws him out, 1 away. There's another ground ball out. It'll bring up Andino.
The shortstop, number 12, Robert Andino.
Last time we played the Orioles in Baltimore, it was Andino that was playing short. As Turris was on the disabled list, and Andino made 31 consecutive starts in place of him. As Turris having a nice series, but getting the day off today. Strike 1. .224 hitter. Chopper hit to third. 2 gone. Porcello looking very, very strong here today, as he did in his last start against Cleveland, going 8 innings, giving up just 1 run. He has yet to throw 100 pitches in any start this year. The closest he has come, 99.
Well, when Jim left spring training, he promised David Dombrowski that he would protect the youngster Porcello, and he's done a nice job of that, and trying to limit the amount of pitches that Porcello has thrown this year.
Brian Roberts flied out his first time up. Roberts leads the American League with 38 doubles. He is homered in this series. There's a strike called, 1-1. This veteran, we've talked about it, they are very young, Porcello and Avila, but they have worked together before. In fact, Alex was saying that he caught Rick in instructional league and also quite a bit in spring training. So it's not like they haven't worked together in the past. 3-1. High fly ball. The right center field, Ordonez and Granderson, and Ordonez gives way to Granderson. Curtis with the catch. 1, 2, 3, they go.
Play the Seattle Mariners August 18th through 20th and take advantage of the August double play. Get 2 upper box tickets for only $29 or 2 lower box seats for $49. It's a savings of $15. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Well, the Tigers have a nice 4-0 lead here as we play in the bottom of the third, and it's Carlos Guillen leading it off, and Maglio Ordonez and Brandon Inge facing the right-hander Hernandez. Off the mask of the catcher Wieters. 1-1. Boy, it'd be nice to take 3 out of 4. Twins coming to town. Tigers trying to hold off the hard charging Chicago White Sox, who came in a game back. The 1-1. Right to the first baseman Huff. And 1 gone.
I told you I was going to point out some things with Maglio and his new stance that he started a few days ago, actually, and it's working for him. Take a look at the front foot here. That's what we're going to concentrate on. And Maglio is going to take a little stutter step, and then he's going to step again, and that's going to cause him to be late on the fastball. Over on this side, you can see he's opened up, which allows the hip area also to have the kind of flexibility to get through the baseball. Maglio has hit 4 balls hard in the last couple of days and hits that one hard too as he grounds out to Wigington for the 5-3 putout. But it's nice to see Maglio start to generate some bat speed. Lloyd McClendon was talking about that today. It's taken a while to figure out exactly what was wrong with Maglio, but they appear to be onto something now.
Well, here's Brandon Inge with 2 outs. He was onto something back in the second. A 2-run homer deep into the seats and left beyond the bullpen to give the Tigers a 2-0 lead, and it started that 4-run second inning.
And Lloyd was telling me today that he has worked harder this year than any year he's ever had to work at trying to get guys on track.
1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the hitting coach, Lloyd McClendon.
Says he's working out a lot too. Says it keeps the stress off of him.
Ooh, that thing landed about 10 feet in front of the plate. And got away there from Hernandez. Two and 1 on Brandon. The home run that he hit back in the second is 22nd of the year. He had that 2-homer game against the Indians right before the All-Star break, and hadn't hit a home run since. A lot is made about guys that are involved in the home run hitting contest and how it messes up the swing. I know Jim Leland doesn't really believe in that theory. Not sure that I do either. 3-2.
You think it's just coincidence?
It's back into center field. Well, I mean, how many instances really have guys been in a home run hitting contest that have just fallen on their faces in the second half?
There's been quite a few, though.
Like who?
Abreu, Hamilton. Pujols struggled out of the gate, too, this year.
Yeah.
So there's been some.
I don't buy it, though. Do you buy it?
Yeah, they may have something to do with it. I mean, I don't totally buy it, but I'm sure that there may be some arguments on both sides.
Here is Alex Avila, his second big league at bat. Struck out looking back in the second. Avila played his college ball at Alabama, was an All-American there. He was actually drafted twice by the Tigers. 35th round in 2005, and when you're that low of a draft choice, a lot of guys will end up going to college, which is what Avila did. He went to Alabama and then was picked in the 5th round last year.
He's got a good number on, number 13. Lance Parrish's number.
Breaking ball outside.
And don't think for one moment it's just coincidence as to why he has that number. I'm sure Jim Schmeichel decided on giving him number 13. And there are certain numbers the Tigers have of former players that you have to think twice before you give those numbers out. Number 1 would be one of those numbers. Number 3. Of course, there's several numbers that are retired, but Lou's number and Tram's number not retired.
Well, we know 6, 16, 2, 5, and 23 are all out on the wall. out there in left center. Chopper hit to first. It is foul.
Josh Anderson was wearing number 13 until he was traded.
Do you know if he's with the big club in KC?
Not sure. Not sure.
There's a wall of fame out there for the Tigers at Comerica Park. Fouled away. So Avila battling Hernandez here. 2-2 the count stays.
Young Alex got caught looking at strike 3 his last time up, a 3-2 fastball right down the middle. And he needs to make sure he stays on his fastball here. 2-2. Nice job. You can make an adjustment in hitting a breaking ball with 2 strikes while looking for the fastball, but you cannot do it the other way around. If you happen to be looking for a breaking ball with 2 strikes, which is a no-no, you can't hit the fastball.
There is a fair ball down the right field line. On his way to third base is Inge. Avila will pull into second. Here comes Brandon coming around to score. Alex Avila has his first big league hit and first big league RBI. And congratulations, Al. What a great feeling. A rocket down the right field line.
The first 2-2 fastball he fouled off. It was a good pitch by Hernandez. Then he came back with that breaking ball down and in. Left-handers love to hit the balls in that area, and that ball was whistled by Huff. Look at Mom had to get up out of her seat. That's my baby.
Avila had 55 RBIs in Double-A, and he gets his first major league run driven in.
He's ready now. He's caught some nice innings from Porcello, and he comes up with a big double.
The handshakes from John Westhoff, Al Kaline, Dave Dombrowski, and a big hug from Mr. Tiger. What a special feeling for Al Avila.
And Dad may be dropping a couple tears up there himself. It's a special moment for the Avila family. He said his dad would be watching today, Ralph. So I'm sure Ralph, Al's dad, longtime scout. As a matter of fact, he's a scout in the Hall of Fame, is tuned in watching the Tigers broadcast today.
Into shallow right field, Markakis coming in. And that's all for the Tigers. But an inning that featured Alex Avila's first big league hit and RBI. First big league hit. Now says Alex has had a lot of support along the way.
The guys here have done a tremendous job, and Coach Joe DiPestino at West Michigan, Tom Brookins in AA, and Glenn Ezell, and Mike Rojas have all done a great job. Well, he's a classic example of a kid that had a little bit of talent, that worked very hard, and the development system worked in helping him get to the big leagues.
His comments on Tigers Live before the game today, talking about his son Alex. And so the Tigers have added to their lead 5-0. And a special moment here at the ballpark.
And Dave Dombrowski said that they had kept Al out of the conversation when they were entertaining the thought of calling young Alex to the major leagues. Did not want to put that kind of pressure on Dad. And therefore he talked to Leland, he talked to Mike Rojas and Glenn Ezell about bringing him up.
Well, he's here, and he's provided instant dividends, just his second big league at bat. Bouncing ball hit to short. Santiago throws him out, and Reimold is gone, one away. The Duck is here. I just saw the Duck jumping up and down after that two-base hit. Here's the Aflac trivia question. Who was the only pitcher in Major League history to win a World Series game in 3 different decades? Nice question today. There's only been one to do it in 3 different decades, win a World Series game. Chew on that. Here's Nick Markakis. Markakis 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Seven Tigers hits in this game. The Orioles today have had only just a walk. That was Luke Scott back in the second, their only base runner so far. Pulled in the air down the right field line. Ordonez coming to the corner. He's going to get there. 2 gone. Now Aubrey Huff. Huff hit one right back to the mound his first time up 0 for 1 in this game. And that's popped up. Inge at third. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. Man, does he look good today. Question one more time here. Who is the only pitcher in Major League history To win a World Series game in 3 different decades, the hint there would be Newhouser, but that is not correct. It's Jim Palmer, the Orioles Hall of Famer, who won games in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. I believe the game he won in the 80s was in relief, but he still won it. There's a bio on Jim Palmer. What a pitcher he was. 268 career wins. Curtis Granderson leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tigers on top in this one, 5-0. Wallside Windows pitching change. Brian Bass is in.
It's been busy this year. That has Bass, 33rd game. With an earned run average just a tick over 4.5.
So Hernandez goes only 3 innings today. Much different result than he had the first time he faced the Tigers when he beat them back in May at Oriole Park. Bass now has gone to 3-0 against Curtis Granderson. Grandy, then Polanco, and then Thomas in the 4th. Ball 4. 4 straight out of the strike zone. First walk for Mr. Bass.
The second baseman,
That'll bring up Polanco. Let's see, Minnesota, Cleveland 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th. And just underway on the south side, Angels and White Sox.
I got confirmation Josh Anderson is in the big leagues now.
Did you?
Yes, he stayed home after the trade until his son Easton was born, and he was born last week.
Ah.
So he's in the big leagues with a new team, and he has a brand new baby boy.
You've got great sources.
Yep.
The 0-1 pitch is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, congratulations to Josh and his family.
Got that information from Jeff Totten, who is the chapel leader here.
Oh, okay.
For the Tigers. Keeps us all in line.
And we can also use some of that, that's for sure.
You got that right.
Granderson, well, we mentioned trying to become a 20-20 guy here. He's got 19 stolen bases. Is this the chance where he finally does it? That missed low. Run the count to 2-1 on Placido Polanco.
Granderson has a legitimate chance of being a 30-30 guy this year. And there's really only been a few guys to do that in the big leagues.
Polanco hits that one toward right field. It'll drop in a base hit. Granderson on his way to 3rd. He's in standing up, and the Tigers starting something here in the 4th. Picking up where they've left off the last 2 innings.
Neither team took batting practice on the field this morning. I suspect that both teams decided to hit indoors. But the Tigers have really brought their hitting shoes out at 1 p.m. today. Classic Polanco swing from a couple of years ago. Polanco does not nearly hit as many balls in that direction these days.
So Granderson to 3rd, nobody out. 8 Tigers hits. Here's Clee Thomas, who's walked a couple times. Cleet, since being recalled from Toledo, hitting at a .333 clip. He's been an improved offensive player. Although we have seen, even before he was sent down, that he does have that power capability. One and 2. And Thomas has excelled in these types of situations here this year. .351 with runners in scoring position. Shattered his bat, rolled it to 3rd. He'll get 1 at second base, and that's all. Fielder's choice RBI for Clee Thomas. Score Granderson. 30th RBI for Cleat.
Ball not hit nearly hard enough to get 2. Yeah, but they do keep the runner out of scoring position due to the Baltimore defense.
Here's Cabrera now with 1 out. Bass was with Minnesota last year and then was acquired by Baltimore in September for a player to be named later. Nine years in the minor leagues for Brian Bass before he got his first opportunity to pitch in the big leagues last year with the Minnesota Twins. And this is something that Alex Avila was talking about. He was in the minor leagues very briefly. Rick Porcello, the same thing before getting their first big league opportunities. A guy like Bass had to toil in the minor leagues for 9 seasons. So guys take much different paths to the big leagues. Originally a Royals selection, Porcello today has looked spotless. Avila has his first major league hit. Swing and a miss. Two gone. Cabrera's out on strikes. Here's Guillen. First strikeout for Bass.
Awkward looking swing there by Cabrera on the strike 3. Won't be long before Kevin Rand takes a stroll over to take a peek at him because it was an awkward swing.
Guillen lines one to left. He'll go the other way with a base hit. Thomas will pull into second. First hit today for Carlos. Third hit of the series. It was a slow walk back to the dugout for Cabrera.
Well, you could tell after he swung that something wasn't right. I'm speculating back, but that's just speculation. Take a look at his actions after the swing. Might be a little tough in Exmo, but it's there.
Ordonez the batter. 2 men on, 2 men out. 1 for 2 for Maglio, plus a run scored.
That's why trainers are so good at this level. They don't miss a beat. And Kevin could see that something was wrong with Cabrera, so he waited until he sat down before and he went over to approach him.
Got an update now on the other games. LA and Chicago underway. Cleveland has scored a run in the 7th. They're up 2-1 on Minnesota. Ordonez pops it up, and that will end the inning. Another run for the Tigers. They get 1 in the bottom of the 4th as we go to the 5th. 6-0. A couple of special things today. Of course, Alex Avila gets his first big league hit, but today, the way he's worked with Rick Porcello, maybe we should not ignore that as well, Rod. They've been a great battery today, and Porcello's been awesome.
Well, Porcello, ever since 5 days ago when he went to throw on that four-seam fastball, his velocity is way up. He's got the slider working, he's got the changeup, and you're right. Young Avila's done a very nice job of leading him so far.
And so have the Tigers. Their offense has really come alive here today, and that's something we've been hoping to see for quite a while now.
Well, they need that if they're going to play some meaningful games beyond October 4th this year. The offense is going to have to be a whole lot more consistent. The pitching and the defense has pretty much carried the team all year. But it would be nice to see them start to swing the bats the way that they're capable of swinging the bats.
As they have today with 9 hits. And Porcello here in the 5th inning facing Ty Wigginton. Wigginton, then Scott, and then Wieters. The 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Porcello had a 1-2-3 fourth, a 1-2-3 third. That's into center field. It's going to drop right off the end of the bat, and right into shallow center. And that is their first hit.
He hit it like Porcello threw it. A slow breaking ball at about 78 miles an hour, maybe a changeup. I believe it was a changeup.
So Wigginton has their first hit. Luke Scott will stand in. Scott had a walk in the 2nd, and he is their only other base runner today. Lifted back out of play, 0-1. So by inning, you've seen some very quick innings here for Porcello. Pitch count in great shape. Bouncing ball right back toward the mound. Porcello has only 1 play. Runner advances. 1 gone. Wigginton down to 2nd. That'll bring up Matt Wieters. Porcello had that stretch earlier this year in which he recorded a victory in 5 straight outings. Now, there weren't too many guys his age that had done that. Valenzuela, Gooden. A couple of big names on that list. And Wally Bunker. You ever heard of Wally Bunker?
I have never heard of Wally Bunker.
I assume no relation to Archie.
He was some kind of character, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was out of control.
He was.
Archie was out of control.
Oh, I thought you meant Wally.
No, Archie. Love that show.
Archie was out of control. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wieters fly to center field back in the 2nd. Wave and a miss. 1-2. Porcello has only 1 strikeout today, and that was Wigginton back in the 2nd. Everything else has been put in play. Now the 1-2. Did he go? Nope. Brian Gorman at third base said that Wieters did not go around.
He's got some nice depth with his slider today. I don't know how he was able to lay off of it, but he did. That's a good pitch. with 2 strikes, that's where you have to locate it. They cannot do any damage with it in that area.
Three and two.
Porcello will throw harder as he matures. He's just 20 years old. Now, he is not fully matured yet. And once he does, that fastball may get up to 97, 98 miles an hour.
Now that would be impressive. There's another ground ball back up the middle. Polanco, tough play. Off balance. Got him. Wieters rumbling down the line is nipped at the wire, and another nice play there by Polanco.
Well, he's one of the best at that position, and he makes just about every play he's able to get his glove on. But take a look at him here. He knows who's running, so he kind of takes his time to make sure he gets a good handle on the ball and then plants off that right foot to make sure, while running away from the play, he could still get something on his throw.
Runner at third with 2 outs. Porcello will throw from the windup here against Felix Pierre. And he lost one into left field. That's a base hit. That'll score the first Orioles run to make it a 6-1 ball game. A 2-out RBI single for Felix Pierre. Second hit of the game for the Orioles as Wigginton comes around to score. Now Robert Andino.
Nice block. Nice shift with the weight. It's not an easy play. You anticipate the breaking ball being down, but look at him here. Picture perfect. Bent over at the waist, which means when the ball does hit your chest protector, it's going to bounce right in front of you.
Well, we were talking to Al Avila last night, and he was saying how his son Alex was a third baseman. They got him to college, and he started catching, and he has really come a long way defensively at that position in really a short amount of time.
Used to be a switch hitter as well. No longer switch hitting, just hitting from the left side. He's looked good behind the dish, receiving the balls from Porcello.
You know what he looks like? He looks like a kid that has been around the game his entire life. I mean, just sitting in the locker room before the game today, he was so calm, just watching some video on Hernandez. He's chatting with folks. And this big league debut has not fazed him at all. He's had his first big league hit and RBI. He's caught a nice game.
He's already shown some leadership qualities as well. And going out to talk to Porcello after that last breaking ball, which Porcello clearly threw too hard. So what do you do as a catcher? You get up and you go out and you remind him that you don't have to overthrow that pitch.
And Dino staying alive. And Dino is 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Was a member of the Florida Marlins organization. The Orioles went out and got him in a trade April 1st. And they gave up who was a guy who was considered one of their better pitching prospects when he came up, Hayden Penn. Runner going on 3-2, and there's a walk. Second walk for Rick.
The second baseman, Ryan Roberts.
And so before Roberts steps in, here comes Rick Knapp. (6-1) Detroit. Orioles have gotten a run here in the 5th. And Porcello has to be careful here, and especially in this ballpark with Roberts. If he finds a gap here, the lead could be cut in half. And Roberts leads the American League with 38 doubles. Roberts has put the ball in the air a couple of times today, once to left, once to center. And Porcello missing 2-0, so he's starting to labor a little bit here in the fifth. And he's been a top this list or these lists since he broke in 2001 for All-American League second baseman. It'll go foul, back out of play. In some important offensive categories. Of course, he played in his 1,000th game earlier this year, back in May. Two balls, one strike on Brian Roberts. 8-game hitting streak was finally ended last night by Tigers pitching. Edwin Jackson was spectacular last night. That's to the shortstop. A little bit of a funny hop. Santiago just got him on the force at second. Ooh, that was close. They get a run. You get on the board. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. By Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Tigers lead at 6-1 here today as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning at Comerica Park. They have out-hit the Orioles 9-2 in Javila and Santiago in the Tigers' fifth inning, facing Brian Bass. And the right-hander hits the inside corner, 1-1. Bass came on in the fourth in place of the starter Hernandez, who didn't last very long today, just 3 innings. There's a strike call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. By the way, we received some word on who exactly Wally Bunker is, right?
And who would Wally be?
Well, Tim Bryant from our office emailed me and said he was an Orioles phenom back in the mid-'60s who went 19-5 as a 19-year-old.
How about that?
Well, so there you go. Thank you, Tim. Archie Bunker was a politically incorrect sitcom character in the 70s. We've got our bunkers all straightened out now. 2-2. Inge homered. 2-run shot back in the second. Bass missing inside, 3-2. There's Alex Avila waiting on deck. Then Santiago here in the fifth. To the shortstop Andino. One away in the Tigers' 5th inning, and here is Alex Avila, who in his last at bat did this.
Pretty good swing, 2-2 breaking ball from the starter Hernandez for his first hit and his first RBI.
And handshakes all around for his dad Al. An exciting time for the entire family. No balls and 1 strike on Alex. When Al was talking with us on the pregame show, Tigers Live, before the game today, he was quick to point out that there were a lot of guys in the minor leagues that helped him along the way. And the minor league managers sometimes don't get enough credit for the development of a lot of the prospects. Joe DiPestino, who was the manager at West Michigan, had him last year. And of course, Tom Brookins, the former Tigers third baseman, at AA this year. Mike Rojas, the field coordinator. These guys all working with the young guys and the young prospects behind the scenes at the minor league level. And once they get to the big leagues, they hope that they can give them a finished product or something close. 3-1.
All the minor league managers, coaches, hitting coaches, strength coaches, very valuable to any organization.
Right back up the middle and into center field. There's another hit for Alex Avila. He's 2 for 3.
You can draft players and get talented players into your minor league system, but if you can't develop them, they're not going to help your big league club.
Very maybe underappreciated portion of each major league organization, the development staff. Maybe not underappreciated, but sometimes we don't pay enough attention to them. So Avila is 2 for 3 in his big league debut. Ten hits now for the Tigers. 2 of them by the rookie, and now here's Santiago, who tripled. He also scored back in the second. Tigers have scored in every inning but the first in this game so far. No 1-1 on Ramon. That's going to get away from Waiters. Avila will advance. He's in a scoring position. Wild pitch, advancing the runner. Tigers today 10 hits. Meanwhile, the opponent, the Orioles, only 2 hits against Porcello and 1 run. Ramon stays alive. To the right side of the infield for Roberts. Santiago is out 4-3. Advanced the runner to third. 2 gone. And a chance for Curtis Granderson. Doubled and scored a run back in the second inning. He also knocked one in. Grandy has scored twice in this game. Strike 1. Curtis now has scored 63 times this year, which leads the team. Roberts on the backhand. Really doesn't have time to plant, and a run will score. It's another RBI for Curtis Granderson, an infield single. He has driven in 2 today. Tigers add 1 more. 7-1 ball game.
I mean, really nothing Roberts could do. It shows some nice range to his right getting to the ball, but with Granderson running down the line, he's not going to throw Curtis out. Huff over at first had to come off the bag to make sure that ball didn't get into the Oriole dugout.
So Grandy's at first base now with 2 outs. Here's Polanco. They're playing behind the runner. Strike 1. Six-run Tigers lead here in the 5th. Polanco's had a big day. 2 hits and an RBI, and he pulls this one to the shortstop. And Dino gloves it to retire the side. Tigers get another run though. They rebuild their lead. It's 7-1 with Reimold, Markakis, and Huff coming up. It's an Every Kid, Every Sunday giveaway day as all kids 14 and under receive a Miguel Cabrera growth chart. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. 6th inning. And the Tigers lead 7-1 behind Rick Porcello, who's been very good today. He's facing Nolan Reimold, Nick Markakis, and Aubrey Huff.
For the most part, Porcello's been able to stay ahead of these Baltimore Orioles hitters. It's imperative that you do so if you're going to have success against them. It's a good fastball hitting team.
Well, Rick at one point had retired 7 straight before Wigginton singled to start the 5th, and then eventually scored their only run so far.
Yeah, Rick Knapp also told me with Porcello, they've really been concentrating on him with his front shoulder.
There's a base hit to left.
And making sure that it's directly pointed toward home plate when he's delivering the ball, which in turn gets that arm in a real nice slot. And that's another reason why he's added some mile per hours with the velocity.
Only the 3rd Baltimore hit. Here's Nick Markakis. Markakis 0 for 2. He signed a 6-year extension, which will keep him in an Orioles uniform through 2014. Five hits in the series, 3 RBIs for Markakis. Porcello looking for the ground ball for 2 here. Meanwhile, it's in the top of the 9th, and Cleveland is holding on to a 2-1 lead over Minnesota, who might fall to 2 under 500, I should say. And the Angels, 5-0 lead over the White Sox in the second. That's good news. Three 3-0 on Markakis.
That's one of the things that's real hard to do in big league baseball. I don't care if you're at home or on the road. It's tough to sweep teams. Angels have lost the first couple of games of that series, looking to win one today.
Danks and Santana hooking up in that one, so they've gotten to Danks for 5 runs already. Meanwhile, it's 3-1 on Markakis. Looks like the Tigers bullpen is going to start to stir now. Ground ball, foul, right by Cabrera. 3-2. Perry is warming up along with Fute-Ni. Full count. He walked him, ball 4. Single and a walk, and that is 3 base on balls for the right-hander. Here's Aubrey Huff. Meanwhile, it is the final now. Cleveland has defeated Minnesota.
Porcello has been able to get 18 ground ball double plays this year, which is the most in the American League. And if he gets Huff to hit something on the ground, he'll get number 19.
Well, Huff's a pretty good candidate. 11 double play balls this year. And he's fallen behind now. 2 balls, no strikes. Avila walks out to the mound. If this score holds up here, the Tigers could start that series with Minnesota tomorrow, leading the 3rd place team by 4.5. So there you have it. It's at 4 right now, pending the outcome of this one.
You know, Minnesota will come in here competing, though. They always do.
(3-0) now on Huff. So the Orioles very close to having a chance of getting back into this game. 6-run spread right now. They've been badly out hit 11-3. Wigginton waiting on deck, and there's a strike. 3-1 on Huff. Ground ball hit to second base. This should be 2. There's 1. Here comes the relay. There's 2. The double play.
Number 19.
Just in the nick of time. He had fallen behind 3-0, but he gets Huff to bounce into his 12th double play of the year.
That's what I was talking about Porcello before the game. His mound composure, his mound presence, even when there's runners on base, he still knows that he's 1 pitch away from getting 2 huge outs.
Good call there. Now there's a runner at 3rd with 2 outs. Here's Wigginton. Ball 1.
What a nice luxury to have.
It is, and that's what the guys that have that heavy sinker and guys that can induce the double play ball, they can pull out of their back pocket. I mean, Porcello might not be a big strikeout guy, and Verlander can maybe dig out of jams with the strikeout, but this guy can all of a sudden turn an inning around with just 1 ground ball.
Yeah, he digs out of his jams a different way.
The 1-1 in the air and hit well. Left center field. On the move is Thomas, still going back. Over his head, up against the wall. This will get a run in. Wigginton is in there with a double and an RBI.
3 of the 4 hits that Porcello has given up today have been on breaking balls. Nothing wrong with the fastball. The velocity is real good, 95 when he wants to get to 95. And other than that, he's got the really nice two-seam fastball at the bottom of the strike zone. But 3 of the 4 hits have been off-speed pitches today.
And breaking ball stayed up. And by the time it landed, just out of the reach of Clete Thomas, scored a run, and that's going to be it for Porcello. So nice job today by the rookie right-hander. He'll be lifted here in the 6th to a very nice round of applause. And he will depart with a 7-2 lead. We'll step aside. Pitching change here at Comerica. Man, his second base still his property.
Yeah, good start for Porcello. As I said, the 4 hits that he gave up, 3 of which came on off-speed pitches. Nothing wrong with the fastball. Nothing wrong with those numbers. And looking to get his 10th win of the year.
The numbers on Futeni. 16th appearance now since coming up from the minor leagues. Opponents batting just .250 against him, and he will face a left-handed batting Luke Scott with a man at second base. Ball 1. Futeni this year has inherited 12 runners, and only 1 of them has scored.
That's good.
Really good, and this is a situation here where he's trying to keep it at just a 1-run inning.
Sometimes that's how you measure the success of middle relievers.
High pop up right side of the infield. To the grass goes Polanco, and the side retired. Nee does his job again. Porcello with a nice outing today.
Freeze Cam. It's all about Alex Avila, a young Tigers catcher making his major league debut, getting his first hit, driving in his first run. His mom, Yamil, loves it. Dad getting hugs up in the press box. What a day for the Avila family. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And we can put a capper on this day by getting a victory here this afternoon. The Tigers on their way to doing that. They lead 7-2. Young Alex Avila has picked up 2 hits in his big league debut. It'll be Cleet Thomas to lead it off for Detroit in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thomas, Cabrera, and Guillen. Cleet has been on base 3 times, has an RBI. He's walked twice. And a ground ball to second base. Roberts has been a busybody today. 1 gone. We'll bring up Cabrera. The Twin Series starting tomorrow as Galarraga and Anthony Swarzak in game 1. Verlander and Washburn in games 2 and 3 for Detroit. Miguel today is 0 for 3. Pop up, fly out, strikeout. This is the 3rd inning of work for Bass. He came on in the 4th after Hernandez was knocked out after 3 innings of work today. And he's fallen behind Cabrera as he stays away 3-0.
And 5-run spread here, bottom half of the 6th. Too many to be swinging 3 balls and no strikes. But Cabrera is one of those guys that does not like to swing 3 balls, no strikes anyway. There's been a couple of times this year where Jim has tried to get him to do so, but Cabrera just not comfortable in those counts. And there's several guys that don't like to swing 3 balls, no strikes.
Here's Carlos Guillen.
Jim was saying the other day in his office, he says that on all his years as a manager, he would say that probably 4 to 5%, that low, of guys that he would say likes to swing the bat 3 balls, no strikes.
Why would that be?
Well, a lot of guys don't like to make a mistake. They don't like to fail in that situation. A lot of guys also realize that even if he does throw a strike there, he's got to come back a couple of more times, and it gives you more opportunities to look at pitches. But Jim felt like 5%, very low percentage.
Brandon Lyon tuning up into center field, base hit. Cabrera goes to second base. He'll stop there. Here come the Tigers again.
It's a pretty swing right there by Guillen, and he loves the ball down. When the ball is down, most left-handed hitters, all they do is react by dropping the bat head down in the strike zone and hitting a seed right back up the middle. That's a pretty swing.
Tigers have 12 hits. We're only in the 6th inning.
Another reason why guys don't like to swing 3-0 is because most guys in that situation, they try to hit home runs. And when you try to hit home runs, your swing gets big and long, and it's not very effective.
Well, when you think about it, when you're up 3-0, obviously you're expecting a fastball, and more times than not you get a fastball, and you would think, at least common sense wise, that you would love to know what you're getting and so take a rip at it. But you're right, if you have a fear of making a mistake there, you know, that would be one reason of not going after that 3-0 pitch.
Jim said he talked to one of his good friends, Don Zimmer, about that situation. Why guys don't like to swing 3-0, and he said Don Zimmer said a lot of managers fault players when they fail in that situation when they shouldn't.
See if this is playable for Huff. Nope.
And Jim said Don Zimmer told him, if you give a guy a 3-0 sign and he fails, then you know you can't get on him about that. Jim always talks to Chuck Tanner and Don Zimmer. And he talks to a lot of real good baseball men on a daily basis. Tony La Russa a lot.
Rolled foul. 1-2 the count stays on Maglio Ordonez. Tigers trying to extend their 7-2 lead. We're in the 6th inning and take 3 out of 4 against these Orioles.
Since Maglio's opened up a little bit with that front foot, and when standing in the batter's box, he's got a good base, and he's hit some balls hard the last couple days.
Pop that one in the air to center field. It's going to be playable for Felix Pie. Cabrera tagging, but going absolutely nowhere. 2 outs. Well, Brandon Inge, has 2 hits today, including a home run that got the Tigers on the board first back in the 2nd.
Brandon's swings have been shorter, a lot more compact today, a lot quicker with that bat today.
Looks like Baez is starting to warm up in the bullpen for the Orioles. He gave up a home run to Clay Thomas in the opening game in the series with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. The 0-1 pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're talking about Brian Bass spending 9 years in the minor leagues. Stops such as Wichita, Wilmington, Burlington, Omaha, Rochester. He has definitely seen the country.
And that's one of the beauties of playing professional baseball and playing in all those small towns, small cities. You make lots of friends. Friends that last a lifetime. Minor league baseball is fun. And once you get to the big leagues, you realize real quick it's a business. But you have a lot of fun when you play in the minor leagues.
Swing and a miss. Inge chasing to retire the side. So the Tigers fail to score. Bass has his 2nd strikeout. Wieters, PA, and Andino coming up. Thomas moves from left to right. Maglio Ordonez is out of the game, which brings us to our poll question today. Who is the best minor league call-up this year for the Tigers? 85% right now saying Clete Thomas. You can text A or B to 37338 or FSDET. Final results on Tigers Live.
I guess it's not really a bad thing if you only have a couple of candidates in that category, which means most of the Tigers players have stayed healthy this year and they have not needed a lot of rookies to come up and contribute.
That is a good thing. Matt Wieters batting right-handed against Knee. Takes a ball outside 1-0. Fute Knee, opponents from the right side are batting .304, just .207 lefties. So he's been much more effective, as you would expect, against left-handed batters. The ball's hit a ton to right center field, and it is caught on the run. Cleet Thomas ran 1.5 miles to get to that ball, and he takes an extra base hit away.
Johnny on the spot. Jim, before the inning started, he took Cleet out of left and put him in right. And Cleet is the only member on the Tigers defensively that play right field that makes this play. He ran a long, long way to get there. Granderson was not going to catch it either. Good baseball player. Could do a lot of things well.
Nestled right into his glove for the out.
He's got a nice arm. He's got a nice bat. He's a good baseball player.
Here's Felix Piet, who's singled in a run in the 5th. 1 for 2. You were talking earlier about the friends you make in the minor leagues and all the time you spend down there. Piet played on a few minor league teams. In fact, 5 of them that won championships, which is really kind of odd.
That is odd. That's special.
I mean, if you get 1 or 2 in the minor leagues, that's good. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Former Chicago Cub Felix Piet. Orioles gave up Garrett Olson to get him, pitcher. Bouncing ball to first. Cabrera takes it himself. 2 gone. Now Robert Andino. Well, I would think now that Mr. Knee's been here for a month or so, he's probably getting a little bit more acclimated to life here in Detroit. Still learning the language. He still has his interpreter that travels with him. But you can tell when there are questions asked of Fute Knee that he understands, for the most part, the question. He just needs a little bit of help in interpreting his answer. He's done a nice job since coming up.
Very efficient against left-handed hitters, that's for sure.
There's Andino.
Last call for beer, Bud Light. Nice cold beer.
Only 4 hits today for the Orioles. Andino is 0 for 1 with a walk. Tigers, meanwhile, 12 hits. This will find the seats. And the 0-2 pitch on the ground to the second baseman. On the backhand, Polanco. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Fute Knee, who's retired all 4 he's faced. Davila, Santiago Grande coming up.
The largest selection of authentic Tigers gear. You can just about anything you want down there from head to toe. Get it all at your Tigers.com shop. Your Tigers gear. Well, it's been a great day for the rookie. And making his major league debut, Alex Avila. He got his first hit back in the third. It was a double. Also drove in a run. Then he came back in the sixth. Got himself a hit there as well. Mom and Dad very proud, very happy. That's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch, courtesy of the Avila family.
Alex hits a bullet to second base on a terrific play by Brian Roberts. He takes a hit away from it.
He sure did. He got robbed.
Hit it hard. So Alex 2 for 4 now in his first big league game.
They make those plays up here in the big leagues. Roberts, nice player, both sides of the ball. One bounce and a big hop. It goes down to a couple of knees, gets up quickly, and throws out Avila at first.
Santiago takes the ball down low. 7-2, Tigers lead. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Ramon 1 for 3, tripled and scored back in the second.
Sound like me, 1 for 3. I didn't know you used Ebonics.
I was taking a course over the summer. I think I might as well.
1 for 3.
1-1, sales high, 2 balls and 1 strike. The one thing I have found about this business.
That's one thing. I can't usually get on you by saying that, though. You don't make no mistakes.
Oh, no, you don't.
When I get a shot, well, I got to do it.
So one thing I found, though, man, you say enough words in a 3-hour block, some of them are going to come out crooked. He almost hit that one out. Santiago hit it to the warning track, 2 gone.
And get back in the weight room, young man.
Now Curtis Granderson.
A few more push-ups.
Danny's Baez, the new pitcher.
He gave up that big home run a couple of days ago to Cleat, a walk-off variety. And that was after striking out 4. Baez looked good the other day. He had a good running fastball.
He was running through the Tigers lineup, but it looked like we were playing extra innings that night. But Lee Thomas had other ideas.
He brought that fastball with him again this afternoon. That last one, 94.
Nice day for Grandy. Single walk double. And he has driven in 2. One and 2 on Curtis.
So he's 1 for T.
Yes, he is. This is going to be a running joke the rest of the broadcast now.
I thought you was going to say it. It was set up there perfectly.
1 for 3. 2 and 2. Ah, well. Baez ready with the 2-2 pitch. And it missed inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Three and 2. He lost him. Ball 4. Tigers get a walk, and Grandy on again. Well, time for the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist to the game. How about Mr. Polanco today? Against Matt Wieters. And a nice backhanded play. The off-balance throw, and he got him by a step.
66 games in a row. Polanco has not committed an error. It's really unbelievable. 66 in a row. He holds the all-time record for second baseman, 186 games, with 911 chances without making a mistake.
Incredible.
911.
You would think somewhere along the line there would be a somewhat difficult play.
Bad throw on a relay play, trickling off a guy's shoulder, something.
Turning a double play, throwing one in the dirt. Steady Eddie at second.
Good player, good baseball player.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Polanco once this season is done. Contract is up for Placido. But he has given the Tigers some very good years. He drives this one to right field. On the basket catch, Markakis to retire the side. 7 in the books here at Comerica today. 7-2 game. Fans, be sure to join us again tomorrow. The Minnesota Twins are coming to town for the start of an important 3-game series. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow evening on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit HD, all 3 of them.
I don't think we've seen Anthony Swarzak, have we?
We have not this year. We've seen Perkins and Baker before. Here are the standings right now. Minnesota lost again today.
And they will come to Comerica Park angry tomorrow night. And they always bring those M&M boys with them. Morneau and Mauer.
Bobby C., the new pitcher.
Bobby's having a good year. Numbers are good. Earned run average a shade over 3. He's got 20 holds. Record even at 2s. Opponent's batting average is .210 against Bobby, which means he's real good against righties as well.
Top of the order here in the 8th, Roberts, Reimold, and Markakis.
They've been able to keep Roberts in check the last couple of days. And when you're able to keep him off the bases, your chances increase greatly in winning a ball game or 2 against Baltimore.
Now 3-0. Well, Roberts today 0 for 3, 3 for 15 in the series. He's taken all the way, and it's a strike. Down by 5 runs here. Roberts trying to get on base. Three and 2. Porcello started, went 5 2/3. This is his game. If the Tigers can hold down this thing and win it. Fouteyni came on. And now Bobby C. Nice job by Fouteyni. He faced 4 batters, got all 4 of them. Little help from his right fielder, Clete Thomas, who made a nice running catch. Foul away again. Pretty good in his last 26.
Lights out.
popped him up, but again heading back toward the seats. So Roberts giving C a battle here. This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat. Into center field, right center. It's going to drop right in front of Clete Thomas, and the leadoff man is on.
I think he broke that bat we were talking about last night.
The gamer, I think, is headed to the firewood pile.
Yeah. I was commenting on that bat last night. Lots of nicks on it, lots of pine tar. Looked like Roberts had been using that bat for a long, long time. He broke it. It died a hero, though.
It'll end up in a souvenir shop somewhere. Here's Reimold. Strike one on the left fielder. Reimold a single in 3 at-bats. He was a second-round pick out of Bowling Green a few years back.
You have to give the Orioles a lot of credit. Under their new leadership with Andy McPhail, their general manager. He's their president as well. New scouting director. They've drafted well. We've seen a lot of the kids they've drafted the last couple of years in high rounds. They're already in the big leagues. When you finish in last place every year and you get those high round draft choices, you cannot miss on those picks. And they haven't missed on many. We've seen a lot of the kids.
Yeah, a few of the pitchers in this series.
Leaders. Tillman, Hernandez.
I mentioned Reimold out of Bowling Green. There have been a few guys coming out of Bowling Green that have played in the big leagues. I guess maybe the most famous would be Oral Hershiser.
He's famous.
He's big. And Roger McDowell. And our own Jeff Jones, who is the bullpen coach for the Tigers. He went to Bowling Green.
Did he?
Yeah.
This kid Reimold's in the Rookie of the Year conversation right now with Porcello. Elvis Andrus of the Texas Rangers.
Pulled foul. There really isn't one guy, though, that has kind of taken a hold of him and has heads and shoulders the best numbers.
Nope, there hasn't really been a standout guy.
And that one missed. C now falls behind 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner going, and it's outside, ball 4. And now the Orioles have something started here in the 8th, a single and a walk. And you've got the meat of their lineup coming up, the number 3 hitter, Nick Markakis.
Jim does not like those walks.
More action in the Tigers' pen.
It's been a few days since Bobby's pitched. He last pitched on the 1st of August in Cleveland.
Lyon is up again. Markakis 0 for 2 plus a walk. And now C is just going to step off. And here comes Rick Knapp.
Going to buy a little time. A couple of left-handers coming up in Markakis and also Huff.
We're talking about Rookie of the Year candidates. When we opened the year in Toronto, I thought that Travis Snyder kid had a really good chance.
He looked good.
He really looked good. But
he's fallen off.
Yep, big time. Down to the minor leagues, as a matter of fact. At one point this year. So here's Markakis. Two on and nobody out. Tigers lead 7-2. We're in the 8th. Fouled away. No balls and 1 strike. Only 5 hits today for the Orioles. 12 for Detroit.
Markakis knew he was going to get that fastball from Bobby. And when the pitching coach goes out and you have a pitcher that's kind of struggling with his control as a hitter, 9 out of 10 times that first pitch you get is going to be a fastball. You just have to be ready to hit it.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Markakis. Tigers built a 6-0 lead in this game before the Orioles got a run in the 5th. Tigers got one back to make it 7-1 and now 7-2. Baltimore's had some chances. They've hit into a big double play. And that has popped up. First base side for Cabrera. He was drifting on it but stayed with it. 1 out.
Let's take a look at how Bobby goes after Markakis, who can be a dangerous hitter. First pitch fastball, Markakis a little tardy on it. And then he throws him a couple of breaking balls, the second of which catches the strike zone. And then finally, it gets Markakis a good underneath one and pops up to Cabrera.
Here's Aubrey Huff. Bobby gets ahead of him 0-1. It was Huff that bounced into that double play back in the 6th.
If Bobby continues to work at the bottom of the strike zone, he can get a Huff to hit into his 13th double play of the year.
Line drive, base hit left field. Roberts coming to third. They're going to wave him around. He will score. All the way to third base goes Reimold, and the Orioles now make it a 7-3 game.
That was a pretty piece of hitting by Huff. They were overplaying him in the infield. Santiago at short was well close to the bag, and he sliced one right past where he's usually standing. It's a fastball away. He reaches out. The vacated shortstop spot. You see where Santiago is. And right into the outfield.
So Bobby C is out of this game. He will leave after facing 4 batters. He only retired 1, and Brandon Lyon comes trotting in out of the bullpen. And well, he comes. In Chicago with the Angels leading.
That White Sox team playing some good baseball. They were down 5-0, weren't they?
They were. It is now 6-4, so the Sox fighting back.
No perfect teams in this division. Not a one.
Here's Brandon Lyon.
Yeah, Bobby C. We put up his numbers about how well he's been the last couple of months. And Brandon Lyon's matched him pitch for pitch. He's got that fastball anywhere from 92 to 94 with some real good movement. And good breaking ball. As a result of that, the numbers for the opposition not real good against Brandon. Looked like the sun trying to peek back out here again this afternoon.
A little bit of cloud cover around the ballpark.
And Bobby will not make any excuses, but it's tough to stay sharp as a reliever when you come into games when you're not getting consistent work. Told you Bobby worked 6 days ago in Cleveland. You can't simulate game action. You can work in the bullpen and you can work on some things, but it is not the same.
Ty Wigginson's had a nice day. Single, double RBI. He's also scored a run. (7-3) Detroit. RBI hit by Huff, chasing Bobby C. Brandon Lyon now trying to douse the rally here.
Baseball is a funny game, though, isn't it? When the Tigers came home from Cleveland, their bullpen was in shambles because they had pitched so many games over in Cleveland. But you run Verlander out there, you run Jackson out there, and all of a sudden they get that bullpen back in order, don't they?
Doesn't take long, especially with those two guys. And you would expect once Washburn becomes more comfortable here that he will be a guy that will go deep into games as well.
That will be huge for the Tigers bullpen down the stretch. They will have a chance to stay fresh. Jackson and Verlander, unbelievable in the 2 games they pitched in this series.
Apparently Jackson bumped Verlander out of his favorite seat. The top step of the dugout there. That's usually where JV takes the game in, right on top of that jug of water down there.
Yep. JV got a new spot.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Wigginton is out of there.
What a big strikeout. Big breaking ball here. He just kind of flipped that thing out of those 2 fingers. Exmo's nice.
Here's Luke Scott. Lyon trying to strand these 2 runners. Driven in the air, right center field. Granderson will get there, and Lyon does indeed strand the runners. They get a run back. We go to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. The test of time since 1849. Well, a beautiful day for baseball here, and so far the result has been good. 7-3 in favor of Detroit. They've out-hit the Orioles today 12-6 as we head to the bottom of inning number 8.
Like all those kids been to the team shop. They all got jerseys on.
When you come to the ballpark, you got to make a stop at the team shop. And we have a new pitcher. Jim Johnson has come on now for the Orioles.
In 44th game now that Johnson's been in, comes in with a 3-4 record, 14 holds. And numbers not bad.
He'll face Thomas Cabrera and then Guillen. Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. David Hernandez started this one a long time ago for the Orioles. He lasted 3 innings. Gave way to Bass and then Baez and now Johnson. Two and 2 on Cleat. Outside 3 and 2. Jim Johnson was born in Johnson City, New York. Ironically enough. That'd be like you being born in Allen City, Arizona.
Yeah.
Or Allen Park. That would work.
Yeah.
That slap toward left. It's down. A base hit. Extra bases. Cleat on his way to second, and he'll pull in with a leadoff double. Chance to get another run in. Thomas has been on base 4 times today.
Good day for the youngster. Made a real nice running catch in the outfield, too.
You know, you could also be from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
There are many more choices for Allen than there are for my name, that's for sure. So here's Cabrera. Takes a rip at the first and grounds it foul. Miguel today 0 for 3. He has a walk. They've kept him under wraps. 13 Tigers hits. Cabrera must still be feeling it a little bit because he's taking his time getting back in the box. He was bending over trying to stretch a little bit. Talked earlier in the year about the game, I should say. Kevin Rand had to have a chat with him after swinging and striking out. It was back in the 4th. Rips that one foul as well.
They've been pitching him aggressively hard inside the last couple of days, which is what you have to do. Guys that have dangerous bats, and like Cabrera, you've got to crowd them. And believe it or not, the best pitch to crowd guys with is good fastballs, well located fastballs.
He come in there again. First strikeout for Johnson. Here's Carlos Guillen. Two hits today for Carlos. 2 for 4.
Last year as a rookie, Johnson appeared in 54 games for Baltimore. Had a 2.23 earned run average, and he missed 5 weeks of the season. So he was pitching a ton last year for Dave Tremblay.
In the minor leagues, he was a starter. In the big leagues, he's been used in relief.
He's their closer now. George Sherrill has been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Johnson's kind of inherited that role. And this is the first opportunity that they really had to get him into a game. So apparently he just needs some work.
2-0 on Guillen. There goes the runner to third, and a bouncing ball hit to the shortstop. And Dino throws out Carlos. So Thomas to third base with 2 outs. Here's the first at bat for Ryan Rayburn. He entered the game as a defensive replacement with Maglio leaving. Wouldn't hurt to get that run in from third base. Tigers lead by 4 right now. And the Orioles will be sending their bottom 3, at least they are scheduled to hit in the top of the 9th. Lambert, he was called up as well with Alex Avila. He's warming up with Fernando Rodney. Two and one on Ryan. Rayburn at 264. 6 home runs. He's knocked in 29. Rolled foul. The Tigers hold on and win this one. And they have 3 outs to go if they can do it. They would get Rick Porcello a victory. And for Rick, it would be his 10th in his rookie season. High towering fly ball left center. PA coming over. And that is all for the Tigers. They got a leadoff double, Strand to man. We go to the 9th. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Rocking out here at the ballpark as we go to the 9th inning. It is 7-3. And the Tigers have indeed been country strong today. So have their fans. Nice gathering here for matinee baseball. We head to the 9th. Brandon Lyon back to work facing Matt Wieters. Wieters followed by PA and then Andino. Those are the scheduled hitters. 7, 8, 9 facing Lyon, who retired the final 2 hitters in the 8th. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pulled fair inside the bag at first base. Wieters heading towards second. He's in with a double. Leadoff 2-base hit for Matt Wieters. 7 Orioles hits.
The center fielder, Felix PA.
Now Felix PA, and Rick Knapp gets on the phone to see what's happening down in the bullpen. PA is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. In the air toward left field. Rayburn goes back to get it. 1 gone.
The shortstop, Robert Andino.
And bring up Andino, the number 9 hitter. 7-4 Angels lead now. That's in the top of the 6th in Chicago. Orioles were threatening in the 8th inning, and Lyon came on and struck out Wigginton and got Scott. They had 2 men on trying to get back into the game. Trying to close it out here in the 9th. 2-1. Down he goes. Got him with a breaking ball. 2 outs, and it's down to Brian Roberts.
The second baseman, Brian Roberts.
That'll do it. Lyon throws him out, and the Tigers take 3 out of 4. An impressive series for Detroit. Porcello will get the win today, his 10th.
Tigers did exactly as you need to do if you